Just dwell on the Spirit and take your holy claim that God is closer to you than hands and feet, that God will lift you from despair and defeat. God understands, God is real, and God is love. Meditate on the Spirit and take a little time with God, 'cause God knows everything about it. God knows what it is you need. God knows the way in and the way out and the way all around it. I don't care whatever it is. Take a little time with God. Whatever you do, take a little time with God. Whatever you do, take a little time with God. Whatever you do, take a little time with God. Whatever you do, take a little time with God. God will open any and every door. So whatever you do, take a little time with God. God is now, now and forevermore. So whatever you do, just take a little time with God. God will make a way out of no way. Whatever you do, take a little time with God. When your world is crumbling and you've lost all your faith, whoa, whatever you do, just take a little time with God. God knows everything about it. God knows what it is you need. God knows the way in and the way out and the way all around it. I don't care whatever it is. Take a little time with God.
Great. Thanks for inviting us to take a little time for God. We want to give thanks for our musical folks that are just stunning. They bless us every single Sunday that we're here. And we thank you, Nikki, and we thank you, Sandra, and Chris. Got it, right.
Yay.
Nikki?
Thanks. Yes.
Yes. Right, good. Well, welcome and thank you again.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Colladay. I'm wearing many hats this morning. Our platform people scheduled difficulties to having other folks here, and so here I am. And so we're going to go forth today. We want to welcome everyone to Unity Center of Love and Light, and know that we are here as a divine appointment. There is a reason that we're here, a reason that we've chosen to take a little time for God, take a little time for awareness of this presence of Spirit within, as, and through us. And so we want to also acknowledge the folks that are viewing us now, and maybe will view the service afterwards, those of you folks online in cyberspace, that at a level of truth that we are one in spirit, no matter whether we're physically in the same location or not. And so we're blessed, and thank you all for being with us this morning. I want to thank Byron and Wayne for helping us with audio and video this morning. And so let's do a little moment of some centering in whatever way you do in a brief moment in time. And you've chosen to take a little time with God in, as, and through you. So that may look like you're taking a deep breath and paying attention to how are all the thoughts in your mind and in your heart right now. How are they doing? Are they coming forth in ways that you see and you feel and you know are spirit-driven? And realizing that as we join together, taking time right this moment for the God of our understanding, we are returning to awareness of the truth of our identity. We're a spiritual being having this human experience, the ultimate reality that we are one with all that is. And so we give thanks, to say thank you. Thank you sweet Spirit. And so, as we move into the centering prayer, there's a song that's coming forth now that when you were announcing that you were doing this, Sandra, I said, oh yes, our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. It's in alignment with one of Unity's 5 principles that our thoughts have creative and co-creative power. And we have to be careful sometimes in what we're affirming, what we're praying for. So, as if all thoughts are prayers, what does that suggest for us? What does that suggest for you? Some of the thoughts that we have. So pay attention to these lyrics. The song is for us. Our thoughts are prayers.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there, and every thought becomes a prayer. My words are prayers, the tools that I create with. My words are prayers that Spirit resonates with. I seek higher consciousness, a state of mindfulness, and I know God is always there, and every thought becomes a prayer. My words are prayer, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there, and every thought becomes a prayer.
Indeed, our every thought becomes a prayer. And we take a deep breath as we prepare to move into an extended time of meditation, a time of listening, a time of being in the silence, a time of embracing. And I invite you to hear the words that I speak, if you wish, to be words of your own mind and your own heart. And there's a reason that we are here this morning, the reason that we're gathered in this space, place, heart called the divine center of light and love. There's a place within us that knows that we are called to recognize our divinity. We are called to behold the beauty and the majesty, not only of ourselves as we look into the mirror, and the majesty and the beauty and the holiness of all others, people that we think about, folks that we pray with and for. The majesty and the beauty of all creation. With every breath, we are aware of our holiness. With every breath, I am aware of my holiness. My holiness, your holiness, our holiness is a spiritual reality. It is who we are, who we have come here to be and to express and to live. And yes, our holiness blesses the world. For wherever we are, Spirit is, God is, all is, the Buddha is, the universe is, our heart is. And with another deep breath, with this awareness, which is knowing that we embrace, we move into the silence and release. I release and I let go. My every thought is a prayer. In the silence. As we shift our awareness to this space that we're in, wherever we may be, in this beautiful sanctuary or somewhere in our life online, with a deep breath, we are aware of the beauty, aware of the oneness with the universe, one with the universe as we know it, where there is only spirit as the ultimate reality. The reality of our life that brings us into this space where we are able to remember and return to awareness and to embrace and to claim our divinity of why we are here. In answer to the question, who have I come here to be? Your heart knows. And as we continue with awareness of our thoughts, our prayers, our heart and mind are joined in wholeheartedness, in a wholehearted celebration of oneness. As we return aware in this space of ourselves, of others around us, as we open our mind and heart, we also realize that there's a place within us at all times that is aware of the beauty of God, the God of our understanding. And as we move into a deeper awareness of this experience, we hear some beautiful music, the godness, the goodness of God, the goodness of spirit, the goodness of God that is within us, as us, and through us.
Yours are the hands, yours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. Open your minds, open your lives to celebrate the goodness of God. So as we wait, our hearts wide open, fill us, we pray, that we may walk in the fullness, the wonder of your grace. Yours are the hands, yours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. Open your minds, open your eyes to celebrate the goodness of God. We hear your voice in the silence, a whisper sweet and clear. And it is there that we discover your blessings fall like rain. Yours are the hands, yours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. Open your minds, open your lives to celebrate the goodness of God. To celebrate the goodness of God. To celebrate the goodness of God.
peace. And I think I can forward this. There it is. There's a background to this that some of you may have known, maybe have not. There were times on the planet in the Unity movement when there was a call, a deep call for peace, a deep call for, well, what does unity stand in the midst of all of this, in the midst of this craziness? What do we do? What are our beliefs? Do we take a stand when there's difficulty on the planet? And one of the hot spots, of course, is if we're not careful, there will be somebody on the planet that will want to go into politics and say that what you're doing is all about politics. And in some ways, what's true is that a lot of people on the planet realize that gets attention, to politicize everything. And so we're not saying by the statement, it could upset some people that we take stands for these kinds of things, but the Unity movement all across the country and the world has taken a stand, and one way to say it in spiritual terms is what we affirm every Sunday. Now, we make this also in the first person. Initially, it came out in the inclusive person, where we are the ones, we stand for peace. That's true. But what's so important is that each one of us make that same declaration, that we make this declaration. So you've probably been saying this many times. Well, let's take a moment and take a deep look, and in your mind's eye, see the planet Earth as the blue marble that we've seen from space. Isn't that stunning? That's our home. And when we see the blue marble, we know that all is well. But then we've put layer upon layer, and technology allows us to do that, the layers that come up from our thoughts and from actions and behavior of ourselves and of others. I mean, my hell, the things that we do on this planet, some of them are hysterical and funny and outrageous, and the whole spectrum of human emotions in life. And yet it begins with us. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with somebody else? Wow, yes. So this is where it stands. So I'd like to invite us all to actually physically stand as we are able. As we say this, if you can see the screen, my standing but move so you can see the screen. But this is the time when our thoughts have co-creative power. And this is the prayer that we're affirming together. Let's affirm this together. And imagine that you have to be speaking louder than you normally do at this time. And I'll get away from that speaker. Sorry about that. Speak louder than you normally do. Project to the ethers as we say together. Together, I stand for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. I honor the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God. For there is one power and presence of God, and that God loves each one of us. I stand for peace in my lifetime. It is therefore my position to urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever name for guidance during these challenging times, and to pursue peace, not war. For this is what honors the God of our faith traditions. Let's pause a moment with a deep breath, close our eyes, and we declare it is so. Amen. Together. It is so. Amen. So this is a perfect lead-in to this beautiful universal greeting. You can remain standing as we move into the Namaste tradition. And online, you may do that with yourself or with others too. Namaste, the Christ in me honors and greets the Christ in you, the God in me, the love in you. And then also, Let us pause a moment in a namaste position, the namaste of the universal spirit of love, and get in our mind's eye again the blue marble. Let's close it. And then just speak softly, whatever your understanding of what the word namaste means. God in me honors and greets the God in you. Namaste. And so it is. And we have a universe. Look, I was telling Byron, this slide is stunning. We could have a whole lifetime being where this little person is. It looks like a little boy with the majesty of the universe. The universe where we know that spirit is, God is. And therefore, so are we.
The ocean dances at my feet. The wind plays a melody through my hair. I am loved at every turn. I am kissed by mother.
Child of this universe, the sun warms me in its embrace. The stars have aligned in me to the sky. I am honored by all of life. I am held by every blade of grass, every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through me. Child of this universe, through my breath all of life can breathe. I plant the seeds with my every dream. I can love at every turn. Give a kiss to Mother Earth. I am a child of this universe. I greet the God in each face. I am a channel for peace to flow. Oh, I honor of life. Yes, I'm one with Father Time. To every blade of grass, to every shaking leaf on a tree, in every mountain top, I sing of the glory of God moving through all
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's put our eyes on this slide that you see. And when was the last time you were in a space of where we may assume that this young man or young woman is standing, seems to be on a precipice of being somewhere, and all of a sudden, right in front of us, is something majestic, something that really touches us at our core. When was the last time that we allowed ourselves to be aware there's something greater and more wondrous than what we see and what we believe and what we behold of ourselves, of others? Is there a possibility that maybe we need to sometime return to awareness of that? Because when we take a moment and let ourselves be touched and inspired by others through the music, through the words, through the absolute beauty of nature, we sometimes wonder, how could I have been so distant from everything? Isn't there something inside of me that is calling to be expressed? Part of what unity teaches, a lot of what we've been doing this morning already, to remind ourselves, as the Course in Miracles invites us to consider, you are altogether irreplaceable in the mind of God. That'd be you, not somebody, just somebody next to you, everybody. No one else can fill your part of it. And while you leave your part of it empty, your eternal place merely awaits your return. So back up to that scene again, of yourself in one of those spaces in your life where you were like, my God. It says something, doesn't it? My God. And would these words be in your mind right then, that you are totally irreplaceable in the mind of this majestic universe that you see? Do we leave our part empty? And merely because we're not acknowledging that we are one with the majesty that we behold and the beauty that we behold, whether it's a newborn, whether it's somebody that you've been around and maybe you're living with right now or used to, or whatever it might be, there's no place on the planet that is not merely present for you to return to awareness of not only that majesty, what you think is external, but embracing it that's within you. So it's pretty much what unity teaches. Unity is a universal spiritual teaching, we would like to say. We do not get into debates and arguments with other people that have different points of view. Because some would say, well, we hear you, but yes, ours is the way. Or yes, we hear you, but, and what comes after the but, it really creates all kinds of challenges, right? So today we're going to be talking about accepting the certainty of who you are. So I'd like to go back when you're in that time of awe, A-W-E. You know there's something very, very powerful there that will stay with you the rest of your life. I will never forget. I was 18 years, I don't know what the age was, 16, 17. My mother and I, at the time we lived in Salt Lake City. And we drove down to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And I'd never been there. And you know what, the Grand Canyon, you walk up pretty much like that view. You walk up at some point, you see, oh, it's breathtaking, is it not? Just stunning. And I noticed my mother was sort of in tears standing next to me, and she sort of just said, not to me, but it was to me. I'll never forget it. I just know there is a God. I just know there is a God. And so that stayed with me. Through all the years I was stumbling towards awareness of what is true. Did I believe a lot of the stuff that I was taught? Not. As a teenager, does one rebel? I did a great job at that in some ways. Oops, wrong way. So, Philippians, this quote isn't too well known for some people in unity. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Jesus the Christ, who, being in the form of God, thought it was not robbery to be equal with God. So go to a scene that you will never forget. For some of you, it might be your firstborn. If you're the mother, it certainly would be one. And other people, some scenes in your life that to this day touch you at the heart level. When you're in that space, and if my hand goes to my heart when I consider that, when you consider that, is there any way that you, and in that case, this example being the babe, the newborn, are not one and equal with God? And is your understanding of the higher power, and sometimes you don't even use the word God, some people to this day will still say, well, I don't believe in God, but I believe in the universe. Fine. I don't believe in God, but I believe in Jesus. That's fine. I don't believe in God, I believe in the Buddha. Whatever your beliefs are, do you believe there's a power out there that's equal and one with you? Or is it still a more traditional way that I used to believe before unity? Well, if I really got my act together, and I could create all kinds of feedback to myself, and I would accept it from other people saying, Steve, you're really screwed up, and I couldn't say what I would like to say. And someday you may get your act together. And then my mother would say, yeah, I'm waiting. As a teenager, I don't know about you, but my teenage years, I was appalled, and I get back in my memories of things that I did or didn't do. I mean, really. And I know none of you behaved that way. It was only me on the planet, right? Right. Yeah, right. And I know each of you have stories that probably you say, I can top that. I'd say, well, do it. Do it. But how often in our life do we don't believe that we have the power within us that we are constantly seeking? That's already there. And we know that when we look at some majesty that comes in our eyes and is available to us anytime. Living in a part of the country that is stunningly beautiful, like the state of Washington and the Grand Canyon and other places. That's a hook, a reminder. So Byron Stevenson, this was written back when there were some huge racial issues. Now, was that not the case in this country or anywhere on the planet? It's always been the case in some ways. But he said, we have a choice. We can embrace our humanness, which means embracing our broken natures, and the compassion that remains our best hope for healing. Is that beautiful or what? Or we can deny our brokenness, forswear compassion, and as a result, deny our own humanity. So we can say, well, I'm not broke, I'm feeling good. It's everyone else has got this problem, not I. But it is not I, but the what within? It is not I, but the Spirit within, the Christ within, that does the work. And so there's always an urge within all humanity to say, well, I do have a choice right here. I can shift my perception of what I'm viewing out there with other people, with myself, with their behavior. But is their behavior as a human being only who they are? And sometimes we say we don't believe it, but then we look at some of our words and some of our actions. Our words have co-creative power at the level of a consciousness. Our prayers have co-creative power when they're aligned with the Spirit that we know is Spirit within us. And so we wonder, well, if I embrace my brokenness, that means that I have to admit to myself and probably to others that, hey, I feel broken. This isn't part of what I signed up for when I came into this world, we think. And so what will I do about it? And I kept saying, I learned years ago that denial is not only the name of a river in Egypt. Had to say it. It just came forth. But some of us remain in denial, and the people that know us well know exactly what are triggers for you moving into denial. What's your habit? Quite often it's habitual. By habit, we go into not recognizing that what we are affirming with our thoughts is creating reality. A reality that we don't want. What about the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung would talk about? You think our thoughts don't have any creative power? I think the only thing that saves humanity and will save humanity has been and always has been and always will be the thoughts that we collectively create that create enough energy and enough willingness to shift any perception, any reality. A sign that I've claimed my identity as the way of God. Well, you folks do it all the time. And that's called sacred service. I get my mind off of myself and onto others. And when I heard about the concept of sacred service, for a while I was always thinking, it's about volunteering. Oh yes, volunteering is really, really wonderful. And we're giving of our time and talents and treasures, and we go and we support others. And what I think Unity and other traditional paths are beginning to be aware of, with a spiritual twist on volunteering, it has to do with, does it come from the heart, from a level of spirit? That is it one spiritual being giving of time or resources or volunteering for another? Are you seeing them as full and as together and happy and talented as you are? Or are you thinking you have a gift to give to them? I'm going to make you feel better by... You make yourself feel better, of course, but sacred service. And I part of what's happening with those of us that are in helping professions, and some of you, the definition of helping professions has broadened over especially the last 2 years in our life with COVID. I mean, people really had to dig deep to move beyond and off of where they have been. Many people, anyway. And it gave an opportunity to really see that people were really getting off of their own horror or their own drama around COVID and around whatever, and putting it on and to others, giving it to others. And so it's really hard to focus on what is going on in the world in a way that I can say, well, yeah, I've been dwelling on this. I had a minor case of dwelling on minutiae that really got my attention. And some of you know this, and some people on the board have heard me gripe about this. When I was planning to load my car, I've been traveling quite a bit around the country, so I'm pretty good at loading my car, and I know I'm going to take a road trip. It'll be 2, 3, 4 nights on the road. And I decided I get one suitcase, and my little red Prius is always packed to the top. Leave a space for the rearview mirror so I can see what's going on behind me. Other than that, so getting the first stop I made when I left to finally load the car, I was really tired and really but I got it, and I drove to Omaha, and it's in Council Bluffs, Omaha. There's a hotel chain I used to stay in. And I had a nice connection there with the staff and so on. Thanked them, the people at the front desk. And I went on and got in the car and drove to Rapid City, South Dakota. And when I started to unload the car there, I didn't have that one suitcase that I left at the hotel in Iowa. No big deal. I got tried to call the hotel front desk The call was always cut off. There was some glitch with their sound, their system, or whatever. I don't know what it was. Long story short, I went through all kinds of different drama, and having to pay $150. They were holding my little old suitcase ransom, unless I paid them the $150. And then I was find myself the whole spectrum of emotions. A feeling a victim of the world that I created. You ever get that? Maybe you don't, like I say, you created it, it's their fault, right? If they hadn't done this, if they hadn't required me to mail $150, I would have been happy. Not. I would have found something else, some other time in my life to get back to center. Well, the good news is, yesterday, my bag was delivered here. And I made friends with everything I had in a little black bag. And also did some forgiveness work and letting go of that. You know, it's minor. That is minor. It is not anything compared to the folks that I've been working with and supporting in life that go through pain and horror every single day. Those of us that are in helping professions, first responders and vets and everything. Sacred service. I like to say when I'm talking to people, you know, in helping professions, like especially hospitals and people I talk with, I like to use the term sacred. And yet I've not quite arrived there until I'm at a place of different type of relationship with folks. But that's what I mean when I say service, sacred service. Thank you for your sacred service. So in Unity, I've been around enough churches that have very similar core values, and they spend a lot of time and energy and prayer on who are we, who have we come here to be, what is our identity. And for individuals as well as for ministries, and part of one of the reasons I'm here is to do some of this. For example, in Unity, we welcome and honor and embrace all. We are a safe harbor. We value and support connection, open-hearted communication, and active engagement. How about you personally? One of the things we'll be doing during this time of transition is taking a moment, looking at what has this beautiful community co-created over the years, and is there something you want to add to it or whatever? But also, it's also about what are the core values that you hold as a value that is pretty core to you. It's not going to shift based on the shifting sands. So community. And for you, diversity. Quite often, Unity churches are saying that we get this from our elected home office. We acknowledge and affirm the humanity and dignity of all individuals. We embrace and model diversity, inclusivity, and equity with a commitment to practice anti-racism, promoting social justice. Now again, what if we turned all this into I statements? I acknowledge and affirm the humanity and dignity of all individuals. So what are your personal core values? And then about love and action. As a spiritual practice, we generously engage in heart-centered and ongoing service, outreach, and giving within our Unity community and beyond. So what would your personal one be? Many of you have already done something like this for yourself, but here's an invitation to, if you're into giving and receiving, into accepting the majesty of who you are, that's part of what you might be doing. So, here we are at a time of making friends with the part of you that says, well, I don't know about these shifting sands in my life, on this planet, in my relationships, in this ministry called Unity. I don't know. I'm just going to wait this one out, or I'm going to wait and see, or I've got other things to do, other things that are calling me. Who knows? I think you do. For there's a place within you that has accepted your call as a human being, recognizing and embracing your spiritual nature. And so it is, and so it shall be. So, with a deep breath, is there music right this moment? you do during the offering? What are you playing during the offering?
Sacred love.
Sacred love. Well, I'm going to tap dance into that first, and then we're going to the beauty of sacred love. Now, I think most of you know this song. It's been sung here several times.
Probably, yeah. Do we have words? I got words. Yay!
Oh, we got words. Okay, so this is perfect. So this song is going to be following the introduction of our love offering. But as we do the love offering, in a moment, Doug is going to come around with the love offering. I guess it'll be during the song. And just pay attention. You're able to do multiple tasks at one time. You realize that. One of them is to, as you notice, there's a message for you in this song that perhaps you've never heard, or there's something that's got your name on it right now in this song, Sacred Love. It's stunning. It's stunning. And then also, as the love offering basket comes around, some of us put our hand over the basket. That suggests that we've given already. In my case, I give online. And whether it's not the amount that you give, it's the consciousness in which we give that it makes a difference. That's why we call it a love offering. It's given with unconditional love on our part. And we know that as we give, we shall also receive. And we do so with sacred love.
You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace, God. Blessed peace is all that you are. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are.
Sacred love is all that you are. We give thanks for the offerings given to Unity Center of Divine Love and Light. And we open our hearts and minds to realizing that God is the source of all good. we say thank you and amen. We also invite you, if you have a prayer request, our prayer box is here, and prayer requests will be prayed on here and also sent to Silent Unity for 30 days as they receive prayer support. Thank you, Doug. And also I'd like to mention the offerings that we're giving today. Go to Unity Northwest Region. Let's see, I'm going to put these down here. The Unity Northwest Region, Unity Ministries are divided into regions around the country, and Spokane is in the Unity Northwest regions. We're giving them a tithe. And one to Vanessa Behan Crisis Nursery in Spokane. One to Unity World Headquarters at Unity Village. Unity World Headquarters publishes the Daily Word and supports ministries all over the world, and they own Unity Village. And our organization at Unity Center of Divine Love and Light is a member of Unity Worldwide Ministries in Lee Summit. We hold all of these organizations in our heart and mind, because knowing that we are giving to them with hearts and minds wide open, gratitude for the spiritual work that they do.
Would you like to say the affirmation? The love offering?
Thank you. And together, divine love in and through and as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you, Sandra. I needed that.
Children.